Russell Wilson is the winningest quarterback in the first 9 years in NFL history, and he is spoken out stating that he is not super thrilled about how he's getting his ass beat by his terrible offensive line.
And he said he wants a fucking say in their moves.
I have a lot to say on this. I feel like I spoke lengthily on the Kansas City topic. I will let somebody else speak in length as well and see if we can put together some good convo based on this. What do you guys feel about Russell Wilson coming out and talking, first of all?
Can you blame him?
No.
Not one bit. The guy's getting his ass beat.
You know, Softy Muller up in Seattle brought up a great point. This guy's always ended every, interview with Go Hawks, and the first time that he actually says something like a human, everyone wants to kill him for it.
Sure. 100. Yeah, he's been a robot. He's been a cliche monger. But behind the scenes, he's been doing the work, going to the children's hospitals, actually being what he is supposed to represent. He won the Walter Payton Award.
Mm-hmm. He's the man of the year.
Everybody loves Russ. And there's not a person that you could find that wouldn't like the person. And the football player, I feel like this is the first time in his career that he's been called out. Kind of like
he has wins against Tom Brady head to head.
He has wins against everybody.
Yeah, he has more regular season wins against Brady. Yeah. They only have the loss.
Those numbers don't lie.
I feel like
he's beaten him every other time he's played him.
The franchise is taking him for granted, though.
Okay.
Snyder's taking him for granted.
4-1.
We've all bitched about the offensive line. It became old hat.
Can we agree with that though? Like that he's been taken for granted?
Oh well, no. I want to get into that.
I think he has, personally, not from a respect. And I don't think that as a fan base, we take Russ for granted. We know that he is fucking the heart and soul, and everything that we produce offensively stems from his talent. But from a front office standpoint, you've got Russ. Do you really have to do that much? Do you have to give him that much? He's going to make plays.
These are great questions.
They're going to give him as little as possible, spend as little as possible, and still keep him successful until he says something like this. So how can you fault the guy for it?
Here's where I'm at. I will go at it from a different angle from you guys. And actually, Q was the one to bring it up, I think last week, is where you have to listen to the phone calls. If Russ is going to come out and talk, and I'm not shaming him any which way, but I do think that there's a certain standpoint that as employee and employer, if you don't feel like you're going the same way with them, that you have to find a point to where you mutually split ways. And as a fan of the Seahawks, as much as I love Russell, if you have Russell, do you not call the Texans? Get Deshaun Watson, maybe a draft pick? I'm just saying, there's teams out there that are calling. They have to get rid of an unhappy quarterback. We're dealing with an unhappy quarterback.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
Right? I'm saying at this point,
Q's on board. Get rid of him.
I'm not saying get rid of him, but I am saying
I'm going to take some fucking phone calls. We're going to send some smoke signals.
Here's my other.
This doesn't mean you have
to
take the offer, but if somebody's going to make you some ridiculous Herschel Walker,
you guys are
going to fucking do it.
Here's my next one that I'm going to go into from the other standpoint is if one of his demands is truly to have say-so in the Seahawks operation, if on the other side of it, I'm Bobby Wagner, I'm looking at this and going, he's getting paid double what I am, and now he has say-so in how this organization works. Why is the quarterback going to give a shit about my side of the football? And as a fan, I know, because I just watched this last Super Bowl, and I watched the Super Bowl that we won, the defensive side wins championships. And as much as I fucking believe and love Russell, if he's unhappy and he doesn't want to be there, and you can get the king's ransom for him and get rid of $140 million? Just saying, let's hear about
it. Let me get in real quick.
Go ahead.
First, to address your point immediately so we can follow along. $140 million contract includes $39 million of absolute dead money this next season, whether you move him or not. If a team takes him. So here's what has to happen for Russell Wilson to go. Not only do you need a king's ransom of picks and maybe another quarterback to come back with it, I have a scenario in mind where that works. I'll give that to you later.
Tua.
No, it's not the Dolphins, but it's close. So it's $39 million. Hold on, $39 million in dead money means that you probably need another team to front at least 15 of that to come in to say, hey, we'll help contribute some of the dead money to take it off of the books. If you really feel like that you need to move on from him. I'm not on the field that says you need to move on from him. Here's why. I'm going to go back to 2013, okay? We talked about this last week or the week before. The Seahawks had the number one paid offensive line at the time, right? we can all agree that their offensive identity at the time was running the ball with Marshawn Lynch and their defense playing field position and shutting him down.
Yep.
We can all agree.
We know the formula.
Okay, we can all agree that the Legion of Boom defense era led the league in defensive scoring allowed for 4 straight seasons, which I believe was the first time that that's ever happened in NFL history, which in 1 year I think included points allowed of like 15 or 16, something like that.
This was an epically legendary defense.
So obviously,
really good.
Here's my point to all of this. I'm going to try to tie it in here. So obviously, Russell Wilson piggybacked on a lot of wins along the way, right? As a rookie, he was able to come in and win, right?
Yep.
As a second-year player, he was able to win a Super Bowl. All 4 of us, including our producer Jackson, could have played quarterback in the Super Bowl against the Broncos and won the Super Bowl if they handed it off every single play. Yeah. We all know that would have happened. In 2014, Russell Wilson had a little bit of taste of the reins. They set up the play calling for him to have it. He played great. They were ahead. The LOB was crippled. This was the first time that you saw them human. Unfortunate circumstances separate the locker room. Since then, since that moment, since the LOB era is kind of winding down, they still led the league in scoring the following season.
Holds 2
right?
games out.
Everything still do it.
That game. Yes.
Since that point in 2015 to now where we're at, the offensive identity has switched to we don't pay our offensive line shit. Russell Wilson, go out and do what you do. Since then, in those last 5 years, he has still been the winningest quarterback in the league. If you just
and he's not hurt either.
If we just reinvest and do what we need to do and get the offensive line and take less off of his plate and listen to what he's saying and say, I don't want to die out here in Seattle for the next 8 years. I want to play till I'm 40, 42. Let's get back to the actual formula that protects me. And I get that the defense will be butthurt in certain ways. Bobby Wagner's a first ballot Hall of Fame linebacker. One of the greatest linebackers in NFL history. He's got 2 years maybe left in the near end of his prime. KJ Wright, same thing. This is a totally different era to where the defense isn't relied upon. If we're gonna go forward and win Super Bowls, it's gonna be with Russell Wilson as the quarterback. I get the Deshaun Watson talk. I'm interested. If Deshaun Watson's on the table and you can get picks back for him, I'm interested because I still think he's good. But my scenario is if Russ goes and you just get picks for him and someone to eat dead money, you go out and you sign Marcus Mariota because he seamlessly gets into the offense and does exactly what you want to do with a big quarterback like Waldron just
bring
had.
a duck into it.
It's not a duck thing, okay? I'm just a professional, all right? He's 6'6". He's super mobile. He can do exactly what Goff did and get out on the edges and see the downfield, and he can also run as a threat. And he's not a terrible passer. If you're going to move on from him, he's a free agent. That would be my move. If you're not getting a quarterback that's coming back as Deshaun Watson,
sure.
I'm not interested in Tua. He's too small to play the position. I don't want another midget. I would rather go with a guy who's 27, 28, 29 in that range.
Who are you talking about?
Mariota. If that happens.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you the wild
You're
scenario.
giving me
So you could theoretically sign him as a free agent and trade Russell for a bunch of picks and
that's what I'm saying.
Here's the only way I'm in
if
on
you're moving on from
Russ.
I'm on the record saying don't move on from Russ because he's too good of a quarterback to move on from.
We have been Seahawk fans forever, and we know that we've never found a franchise quarterback. Right?
Yeah,
so it's not like it's the easiest thing in the world to fucking find.
Like your first long-term girlfriend.
Right.
They've only found it once. So the only way the only way I'm moving him is for a guy that I know is that, and that's Watson. Because we've seen picks blow it. You can say we can get Lawrence.
I'd entertain the Mariota scenario.
What am I getting from the Raiders? Am I getting
he's a free agent. He's an absolute free agent.
So you could trade Russell for whatever you want.
A boatload of picks and some dead cap
money.
You
could trade Russell for the entire Dallas
Maybe
offensive
you can
line
build
and
your defense and offensive line because you got another equally mobile, tall guy. But it's sad. I don't want to think of Russell Wilson in another uniform.
I don't.
But the LOB secretly is watching this, clapping.
Of course they are.
Saying, "Oh yeah, we carried that from the beginning." Yeah. If it wasn't for us,
that Hobbit was
we wouldn't have won the
2000.
They wouldn't have won either NFC title game. He had 4 picks against the Packers. They kept them in it. They shut down Aaron Rodgers that entire time, and they won despite 4 picks. And Lynch scored a touchdown. The only touchdown that Russ had that game was another rushing one. He had 0, and before the curse one, he had 0 TDs and 4 picks.
Pretty good throw in overtime.
Yeah.
No, I.